Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be talking about what's next for Israel Adesanya after his dominating performance in UFC 263 against Marvin Vettori. But before we jump into that, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so UFC 263 just wrapped up. The main event, Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori. Once again, dominating performance by the champ Israel Adesanya, and still retained the belt, went out there, pretty much put on an amazing performance for all 5 rounds. As soon as the opening bell kicked off, comes out there from the start and just starts hammering Marvin Vettori's front leg. I mean, those kicks that he was landing, he was going to the calf, he was going to the thigh sometimes, using good lateral movement. The champ is something else. With a performance like this, he's just continuing to cement himself as not only one of the best strikers that we've seen in the UFC in a long time, and who knows, by the time it's all said and done, he may go down as one of the best strikers we've ever seen in the UFC. Definitely one of the most dominant people that we've seen at 185 pounds. I mean, he blazed his way up through the ranks. This is his 3rd defense of the belt, and every time he goes out there, I mean, it's not like he's squeaking by guys. It's not like he's just grabbing them, wrestling them, holding them down, kind of beating them up with these lackluster performances. He is going out there and continually dominating. I mean, you look at this fight in the first round, he's rattling off these low kicks. He's throwing crisp punches, combinations, using the movement. Marvin Vettori has one moment. Adesanya throws a low kick. Vettori's able to catch it, get him down. Adesanya gets back up relatively quickly. It was like maybe 20 or 25 seconds. Marvin Vettori wasn't able to do any damage. Now, going to the second round, it's the same thing over. By the end of the second round, Rafael Cordero's in between rounds. Rafael Cordero was pleading with Vettori. He's like, you have to be first. You've got to go first. You're losing these fights. You're down 2 rounds. He's out there. He's already getting pieced up. Now, that takes us to the 3rd round. It's the one moment that Vettori had in this fight. Marvin Vettori comes out there. He starts being real aggressive. He gets the takedown. Ends up getting Adesanya's back. You know, looks like he could get a choke for a minute. Adesanya actually defended it really well. Spins into it. Ends up getting up. No problem. You know, the one moment that he had him in trouble, the one thing that we've thought about, the one thing that we saw in the Blachowicz fight where he was able to keep him down, hold him down, beat him up. You know, I mean, obviously Jan Blachowicz was a much bigger man, and a much stronger man than Marvin Vettori. So that played a big role in being able to get Adesanya down and hold him down. But at the same time, I'm sure after going through that fight and feeling what that was like, Adesanya absolutely worked on that part of his game. He absolutely knew that that was a weakness in his game and that he didn't want to be held down, taken down, and held down in future fights. And he showed good technique, showed that he was able to get back up relatively easily in this fight, and then just absolutely dominated on the feet. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the man went out there tonight and pitched a shutout. Once he started really piecing up him in the legs, by the end of the fight, I think that Adesanya landed 37 leg kicks. But there reached a point in the fight, I want to say it was in the 4th round, where he caught Vettori with a kick to the calf, and it dropped him. I mean, the leg buckled. And then at that point, Adesanya started to switch it up, throw question mark kicks, started to take the kicks up top, started to throw more feints and hesitations, trying to draw Vettori into movements so that he could try to get a knockout. He was trying to get him out of there. I mean, these guys went into this fight with bad blood. It was a good one. It was a good one. But you look at it, what's next for the champ? All right, so we kind of already know he's going to get the fight with Whitaker, which I'm really glad to see because it was an amazing performance. He knocked Whitaker out to win the belt. Right? Normally think, you knock a guy out. How often do we really want to see the rematch in that one when it was such a dominating performance? But the one thing I got to say is that, well, there's 2 things I'll say. Number 1, Whitaker looked off in that fight. I'm not sure what it was. Was it the layoff? Was it those fights with Yoel Romero? But when he came into that fight, he looked off. When he came in, I remember he looked rushed. He looked overextended on his punches. He just didn't quite look the same. Now, that's not to take anything away from Adesanya's performance. It was amazing. He looked great up into that fight, in that fight, and since then. But there was just something about Whitaker's performance that night that looked a little bit off to me. Since then, he's come out. He's looked great. So I'm really interested to see what Whitaker brings to the fight, having already gone through that experience with Adesanya, having been in there with him once, kind of seen the way he moves, seen his style, seen his range and the speed. And plus, I mean, let's be honest with each other, man. I mean, what's next for Adesanya at 185? Doesn't quite look ready to move up to 205. And so far, he's just been blowing everybody out of the water at 185. So I'm hoping Whitaker brings something to the table and brings the best out of the champ. Who knows? Get a performance out of the year of both of these guys, right? It'll be a great one. So let me know what you guys think. Just another dominating performance for Israel Adesanya. Is he going to be able to just blow through Whitaker again? Is this going to be something where Whitaker learns something from the first fight and he's able to really show up big in the second one? I can't wait to see it. One of the other things I love about Adesanya is the man is an active fighter. He told us that he was going to be an active champion, and he's absolutely delivered on that. So I'm sure we're not going to have to wait long to see him and Whitaker get in the octagon. Let me know what you guys think.